Ladies and gents, welcome. This is a best of 5 here. Round 3 in Titans League Silver. And they're both going to be trying to steal sheep in the middle of the map. There's lots of extra sheep here on Ghost Lake. We have Fire, who comes in at, I think, 2,500 ranked on the ladder. And crazy tournament experience. This guy's been around since, like, 2010, I think. Maybe even before that. Formerly top 10. These days, more so probably around the top 30 mark. And Fire's hoping to get back into gold. He was relegated out of gold in 5th position in the previous season. But his group ended up having 3 players promoted out of it. It had Licks, it had Fire, and it had Lan. So you could say it was a much tougher group than others. Fire's gone for the Mayans here. A civ he's very familiar with and comfortable with, I'm sure. And his opponent is Blackheart, who's a player who is known for preferring closed maps, who's playing from Germany. The thing about Blackheart, though, that I'd like to stress is that he is actually really good on open maps as well. Sometimes when you see closed map players, they will play incredibly defensive on open maps, and they won't be able to open with proper builds and play with aggression, and then they just get punished for that. I've lost to this guy on Arabia before. I've seen him do very well in all settings, so I'm kind of excited for him here. I really feel like he's at an elo, and he plays at a time where Fire doesn't run into him, first off. Because if I'm playing Blackheart, I'm playing around 11 a.m. But if I'm running into Fire on ladder, I'm playing at more like 5 p.m. for me, just because of time zones and whatnot. I don't know if it's possible to look up if they played each other in ranked, but it might be that they never have. Fire the favorite, though, full best of 5. I'm excited for this series. Now, recent tournament result I should mention with Blackheart is he lost to Viper 3-2 in Masters of Arena. He was up 2-1 on Viper, on Arena. So we know he's good there, and there's 2 closed maps available for him as his home maps here today. Okay, so Fire looked for sheep. He honestly didn't find many in the middle. He was close, like he was really close to finding these. He didn't find many. And guys, there's 4 sheep here, and he didn't find them. Is that 4 of his sheep? I guess it would be. Fire does have a really good map for walling. As does Blackheart, though. Main gold is always close to the ice here on this map. But I think getting access to, gold, stone, all that stuff comes a little bit later. You obviously are going to want some food, too. And look at the amount of sheep Blackheart was able to get. Okay. I feel like opening up towards scouts could make sense. I think even going just fast feudal into a lot of farms around your full work could make sense with the pulls. Fire, definitely a player who would probably love a good drush. A couple militia for map control. That's a real classic build order. But for now, just pretty relaxed. Remember, there were a lot of complaints. Not a lot of complaints, but there were some mentions from players who ended up losing important games on closed maps. And they just weren't a fan of how closed Season 2's map pool was. And this is technically, even though it's building up towards our Season 3, we do Silver Season 2 with the Gold and Platinum map pool. This is the same exact map pool we saw for Gold and Plat. But it is a bit more closed, which could, in theory, make things a little bit stronger. Or a little bit, it could open up some possibilities for a player like Blackheart if you feel like he needs those closed maps. And there he goes to feudal. All right, so he's on the way to feudal, probably a scout build. I'd be surprised if it's anything else. And they're off to find each other, and Fire is going to go for man-at-arms, most likely. The way I could describe Fire's play these days is he's just super solid all around. He plays into a lot of eco. He is at a level where he's always super consistent. The thing that Fire lacks these days, I'd say, compared to, if you're trying to think about why Fire maybe isn't top 10 anymore, he lacks those real peaks of aggression. Those moments where it's like, well, okay, he just got a massive lead off that moment. He tends to lack those moments a little bit more than the rest of the bigger names. But Fire is up there and one of the biggest names and is a big favorite here in this group. It is a big favorite in this series. Fire's still down these sheep. And I mean, that definitely has an effect on him right now. Mayan resources last longer, but Look at the difference here. Like, look at all the sheep that Blackheart has. I can't help but feel like Blackheart should have scouted a little bit better here, though. I think he doesn't know about the militia. He doesn't know about the eagles. He's going to finish his barracks a little late than compared to what he would have wanted, and he's going to drop a stable. Will he see this? First game of an important series. Is he looking? Is he paying attention? Real awkward here. Oh, and an amazing find for Fire. And guys, those are just kind of the basics. And those are the basics that you have to have. You have to have down at this level. You have to scout your opponent's opening. He saw the barracks at one point, but he didn't really have the rest sorted. And that's a good start here for Fire and a disappointing start here for Blackheart, who just deletes the stable and now is going to end up going for an archer range. In the end, I don't mind the archer range switch. You know your opponent will likely go for a bit of a follow-up with archers. And we'll see if he can settle down his gameplay here, Blackheart. Blackheart scouted the range, so he'll know the follow-up will come from that direction, as you can see. And he drops some quick walls here. This is where having the sheep is nice. You don't need to actually seed farms right now if you don't want to. And obviously with poles, the more time you have to farm, the better it is. Fire could honestly struggle economically. It feels like if he had 2 more sheep, things would look a bit pretty for him. Anyways, skirms are going to take a long time to kill the man-at-arms and kill the eagle. But what Blackheart is trying to do here is he's trying to make it so there can be no follow-up from Fire. Bit risky here to do this, but in the end, it ends up looking pretty good for him. Still does need some walls in that location. And Fire going to use the eagle, but he can't get too close to the town center. And actually, this is smart from Fire. He's actually just going to try and break out. And there's not much Blackheart can really do with that villager to stop this. So, all Fire thus far at the start of this game. And we'll see if it's going to be all Fire in this series. But I still don't know if this army is necessarily good enough to end the game right now. It's all slow build up here for Fire, which is what you want. I think with fletching, and there's the blacksmith, Blackheart will begin to be able to push a lot of this away. And there's no fletching for Fire yet. Fire has opted for the eco approach. And skirmishers down already. Man-at-arms, eagles paying off a little bit, but archer goes down as well. You just don't want to lose this skirm mass right now if you're Blackheart. And you don't want to lose your scout either. Oh, man, he's fortunate not to have lost that scout. And no, don't lose it! Don't lose it! Don't lose it! Ah! That makes me sad. I feel like that scout's going to end up being really important for him. All right. No farms are on the full works yet. It's farm time now, man. He needs those farms now. And Fire is fully walled. He's farming away. There's no possibility of his opponent really doing any damage to him. Blackheart's eco is honestly not where he would have wanted it to be here. He would have wanted to have way more farms at this stage. And it still seems really annoying for him, the amount of units that Fire has all over him. You're just seeing a really confident opening from Fire. And you could see how much this pressure, even though it hasn't really had a lot of speed to it, it's just constant smothering pressure from Fire. And it really, for Blackheart, he would have wanted more on wood so he could make more farms. Fire not being red is pestering me. I've never seen Fire play in red. He always plays in blue or green, though. The nice thing about poles, though, is that they have the possibility of catching up when it comes to the food eco. So you do have that. But yeah, I imagine it's going to be tough for Blackheart to feel a lot of confidence right now. Fire still hoping to break in. Still getting value from the man-at-arms and the eagles. And, you know, for Blackheart, he's invested into armor. He's invested into fletching. It doesn't feel like the skirm's really been what he wanted here in this instance, as Fire finally kills his first vill. Finally, this is going to get pushed away, though. We've got farms going up around the full works here for Blackheart. His food count will spike. Any other civ, he might just be dead. Any other civ, he might have played the game a little bit differently, though, too. Fire looking to break in over here. And Blackheart holding nicely. Just builds a house there temporarily. But, dude, you've got to farm away around these full works, man. Let's look at res collected here. total resources collected in this game, Fire's way ahead. And this is the guy who didn't have the sheep. Just makes it look so easy. Again, it's just like so consistent from Fire. Anyways, skirms should be able to deal with all the archers that are behind these walls. And this game will go to Castle Age. We've got 13 farms in a minute for Blackheart. He is now on stone. And you do get some gold income from mining stone with the poles. He's got quite a few vills in queue as well. So his food count could realistically be at around 500. I think what he needs now is probably a market. And I expect more of the same from Fire if this game continues. I think that Fire is going to be... He's going to be able to apply enough pressure and do enough damage in early Castle Age to really disrupt Blackheart. But then Fire ultimately just uses that to get the better economy. Wonder if there's a world where you can hop out with these skirms to kill these archers. Probably not, right? But I mean, I would be hugging my own walls. There's no reason not to be. Every archer kill you can get is huge for you here. I feel like that could have been a kill had he been a little bit more patient, but he's worried about castle. There's the market. All the wood lines for Blackheart are rangeable by crossbowmen, guys. And I wonder if Fire's going to be tempted to go for a siege workshop here. Normally, you can't go for siege workshop easily on this map because of the ice. At least siege workshop in good positions. But both main golds are actually siege workshopable. Like this here and this position here could be really good. Fire also got a full tour of Blackheart's base. So if he thinks about it, he could know that denying both of these golds could be good. I think defensive castle could be Blackheart's plan. Obviously, a lot more economy could be great for him. Fire adding a second barracks. I feel like we might see Olbuk in this game. But you need the castle for that, and that unit's still pretty slow. Eagles and archers can all outmaneuver that. Fire looking for damage. Skirmishers were waiting there on the wood line. Good reaction there from Blackheart. Skirmishers still over here. Fire may think, after seeing these skirms, that maybe there's not enough skirms over here. Monastery for Fire. Interesting decision. Not a bad decision to start collecting relics. I don't like the positioning of the monastery. I would prefer that be in his base. That's the only gripe I've really had with Fire so far in this game. But now he's played really clean. And he's just confident, right? Applying pressure here, Blackheart has to do damage control. Applying pressure here, Blackheart has to drop a tower. Which takes him further away from going for a castle, obviously. And this is still a vulnerable area. There's a lot of eagles for Fire. He's using one of those eagles, the weak one, to scout the rest of the map right now. Scouting away. TC from Blackheart. Look at the food, dude. Poles are insane. And an arena player's best friend is that market. But Fire hoping to break through here. We see even another TC for Blackheart. You see what I mean? Especially after seeing this TC, I actually feel like a siege workshop makes a lot of sense. It's just so uncommon for that to be a good play on this type of map, though. I think Blackheart didn't feel as though this could really do much. But it actually could, because these are... Fire is feeling himself right now. Okay, he's confident. Sorry, that could have come off a different way. But Fire being confident... He might actually be able to utilize the range from the crossbows. Fire drops a town center outside of his walls. On the wood, on the stone, and then he drops the TC here. Okay. Eagle goes down. It's been all Fire so far. Like, it has been Fire, and then some more Fire. But elite skirms for Blackheart. Bodkinera will be in. He'll kill these units. But you see just the timing of it, right? You've clicked elite skirm. You want to deal with it now. Now you have to wait. What's the worker efficiency? Total worker efficiency over the last minute is 59% for Blackheart. Over the whole game, it's 78% for Fire and 71% for Blackheart. An 8% difference is pretty significant. And the best players, they do not break from this type of a position. It'd be very difficult for Blackheart to bring this back in normal circumstances, but he's got some fun bonuses to work with, being the poles. And he has still been pretty greedy with all this, right? He hasn't added a siege workshop. He's opted for the TCs. He's going to opt for a tower now. Yeah, I think it's too greedy. Fire's going to be through. Panic Tower, Panic City for Blackheart. And if you see another tower that's been forced down, if you're Fire, you say great. Because that takes him further from a castle, and he's just wasting more of his stone. No hesitation from Fire here to stay underneath the tower. And Fire wants to build the siege workshop here. Again, I don't like the positioning of it. I think it would make more sense over here. But Fire's just all over the guy right now. I think Blackheart, like, here, idle time. Here, idle time. Oof, it's so painful. Kind of hard for me to come at this from with a cast even, thinking like Blackheart has any opportunity. The Vil count's higher for him, and he is poles, right? Fire has by no means, you know, he is not finished off this game. And I feel like, again, Olbuk, if he were to just buy the castle, Olbuk could actually be pretty good. Olbuk with skirms. Poles always have a chance when they've got a Vil lead and on a map like this, but Fire's just all over him, man. Eagles are going to run through there for Fire. All right, let's see what Blackheart can do to turn this around. Fire's has him fully surrounded. Fire notices those skirms come out here for the crossbows. That's so good. Because I could do what he's doing here, but then I would forget about those crossbows for a second and lose 5 of them. Always has army prepared. Always seems to be ready. Mango Micro is going to be important for Blackheart. He aims to get a big shot there. Fire backs away again. Fire's Eagles make it in over here. More villagers are going to die to the Eagle raid. More pressure coming in from Fire. Surprise, surprise. I'd love to see Fire maybe build up for a forward castle even. Castle here. I think he'll always do a defensive castle because that's the safer play and he's got a pretty nice lead, but could be an option. Blackheart deletes his archery range, so he won't have any more skirms available, and he's going to drop a castle there. A castle that's probably less than ideal, but a castle that will probably complete. Remember, he's got gold here if he needs it. From Fire's perspective, he is just caught a glimpse of that castle as he's going for a ram. What do? Research squires right now before you lose your barracks? So your Olbuks are faster? I don't know how many Olbuks he's planning to create, but if he is planning to create them, it would be quite nice for him to get squires right now. I think he should make a few of them. Could be really good against the army that Fire's making. 81 Vils for Fire. Fire lost his Mangonel over here. Eagle's still running around. Anyone else dizzy right now? Fire's over here now. Fire's everywhere, dude. Fire will also take out that Mangonel, but Ram ended up taking out the barracks, which is a pretty big deal. Because now the Olbuk will be slower. They're a pretty slow unit without squires, as is most infantry. Blackheart's staying alive, and every unit Fire is making right now costs a lot of gold. But guys, this has been a 30-minute game, and the idle eco count for Blackheart is over 2 hours. And he's got to make a new barracks for squires. No, I called it. I freaking called it, man. There's the safe castle for Fire. Fire's got 2 relics. That castle will protect his main gold. He has the 3rd relic on the way back. He's made this look super easy. He's just been everywhere. He's had insane presence all around the map. For now, he's shifting up towards Imp. He could actually kill the farms. It killed that farm, so that's 60 wood down the drain. Non-squires Olbuks just can't catch up with these Eagles. Eagle number is pretty high for Fire. He actually has 0 on gold at the moment, but he's going to fix that. And he really wants Imp. Still recognizes there could be a threat here because his opponent has a lot of eco. And so as he kills a villager here and might eventually lose these Eagles, he is on the way to the Imperial Age, and he saw these skirms. And he knows that there's resources here, so he wants to go there in this position for 2 reasons. I'm surprised he sold his stone. But yeah, the unit you wanted to go here is Plumed Archers. Plumed Archers have +1 attack versus infantry. Elite Plumed Archers is +2 attack versus infantry. I know Obok have decent Pierce armor, but they're by no means a Huskarl. I think what naturally happens here for Blackheart is he wants to get a Slacha privilege to make a lot of cav. But remember, the cav for Poles, while it is cheap, the cav is... it still lacks the final armor, so I think a lot of Plumed Archers could do really well. The only way Fire loses this game is if he doesn't have the army mass, because he's lost quite a few Eagles, and he's trying to go Plumed Archers after having sold Stone. Imp is coming in now for Blackheart. I'd like to see Fire, yeah, outposting the sides. Fire's playing this, like, he's putting on a clinic right now in terms of how to play the game. Applied aggression, but it wasn't extreme aggression. He was able to focus economically. Good map control, good vision. He's got Eagles on this gold, making sure that's not being taken. Vision on this gold. But now we have the cav upgrades come in for Blackheart, and it feels like the natural play. Could work, honestly. Like, I understand that Fire's been way ahead in this game, but Poles are Poles, man, and Fire only has 7 plumes. And he's not, like, he's not heavy on stone. He seems like he's missing a stone. Okay, he's taking stone there. Not really denying too much. Okay, never mind. I guess he's denying the gold, but I don't know, dude. I think the timing really hurts Blackheart. It's so important to Fire that he was as far ahead as he was, because he's going to have, you know, good potential here. But Fire hasn't added barracks yet. And I think at this point, you've shown the archers. Your opponent's going to be expecting that. They have to try cap. I think you have to be going for help, too. Fire going to drop another castle next to all this. So he'll absolutely take out... They'll take this position away from Blackheart. And that's a lot of precious gold. I think Blackheart can take good trades. But I think that he's going to lose way too much access to gold. He actually won't even complete the forging upgrade because he's going to lose that blacksmith. And let's say he can make a lot of cav, right? Let's say he's enough gold for that because it's still really cheap with his civ. How does he push back this area? How does he get his gold back? He would need to take the south, and then he'd need to raid Fire, and there's a lot of time for Fire to get the decisions right. And you do not get the imp armor if you're a Poles. So you just got to prioritize Cavalier here. So it's going to be 12 attack on the Cav, right? Because it's the base attack of Cavalier. There's the Plumed Archers from Fire. 4 relics. There must be a 5th one he's missing. Oh, he's missing this alongside the sheep. And if there's any worry from Fire, if there was any uncertainty, he now knows his opponent is going Cav. So I don't know where his barracks are right now. He doesn't have a lot. He's going to make a defensive castle here, and you have barracks on the front. And castle's going to go down for Blackheart. So Plumed Archer number is still not very high, and the Pike number still isn't there yet, but Fire, I think, is going to have the time. It's not as if Blackheart has 4 trebs ready to go. It's not as if he has all the attack upgrades ready to fight. There still is a chance for Blackheart, but it's looking really tough for him right now. Fire's economy is looking great. Fire's army count looking great. He is potentially overbooming, but I think when you have a big lead, a bit of an overboom never hurts. You can always just delete some vills. This is desperation from Blackheart here, as he's just got one single treb hoping to take all this down. And he's going to take the fight, and honestly, it's the best time to take the fight. Is it the best fight he could have taken? No. Between 2 castles. He didn't engage on the archers first. He's going to lose a lot of his units here. He's going to lose all of his units here. And wasn't able to take the trebuchets either. I don't know how Blackheart was feeling coming into this game, but this is not the type of game that makes you feel like you could turn it around in the series. Or that you can, like, upset someone in the series. So tricky here, man. Hello, Seb. Nordal, I'm sorry that you have to watch the content on 240p, man. Hopefully you can fix the internet. Poles are Poles, yes. There's still some gold income available for Blackheart, but I think the fact that this cav is cheap doesn't end up mattering in this instance because Fire's got the composition and the GG's called. Definitely a game for Blackheart where maybe there was a lot of nerves. I think that we just saw a weakness of him as a player at the very start of this game when he didn't scout that Fire was going for Man-at-Arms. The last time he was at Fire's base was when Fire was making his archery range. But he should have never, ever, ever in a million years been surprised by the Man-at-Arms there. It's a common opening, and it's something that you have to look for on a map like this. So, worrisome signs for Blackheart, right? Because now, I mean, he's down one game, of course, but you know, I have to remember he's got 2 home maps. If he wins 2 home maps, he's then up 2-1, let's say. But there's still Fire home maps, and all of Fire's home maps require that scouting and require understanding those timings. But I think he's going to know that, right? It's like a basic thing, and he just kind of missed it. Yeah, Fire did a good job, and he missed out on all the sheep in Dark Age there. More wood collected, more gold, and more stone. Fire dominated. Excited to see what the next couple maps are going to look like, though. I'm still uncertain on Fire's draft. All right, ladies and gents, welcome. We've got Regicide Fortress, and I was wondering what Fire was going to pick. I was not expecting Khmer. Some people did call out Khmer, though. So, props to them. I think I had said Mongols, which he had on his draft. Blackheart, good on closed maps. Did seem like he was a little bit nervous at the start of that other game. So, I think, having more time to himself, more time to ease into the game here, and also having civilizations, which I think are more suited for the map, will be very helpful for him here. Game 1 will be quickly forgotten if he's able to get the job done here in Game 2. Tie it up 1-1. And then maybe Fire could start to worry a little bit. On this version of Regicide Fortress, one that we put quite a bit of time into, the castle is always towards the front. And that is always a point of focus for players if they're going Fast Imperial. Turks are a fantastic Fast Imperial civ, and it's almost like this hill was meant for a castle. Look at this. That is perfectly centered between them. Wolf, move. If I had an eraser, I would erase the wolf right now. But yeah, like right there. Boom. Castle with some army. Trebuchets could be so sick. Now, when I think Khmer on more closed maps, I just think about the fact they have great economy and that they can skip steps, right? On Arena, if they wish to go for, sorry, my words are failing me right now, but if they were to want to open with a stable, they could easily do so because they don't have to build the barracks. But I still don't love Khmer because you start with the barracks here. So basically, it's just a really good economic boom, I guess, with Khmer. And I could see Fire getting more villagers, but I do not know what units he's going to compete for map control with. His map is pretty awkward too, right? This gold being exposed and this gold being exposed long-term hurts, but that is to be expected. I think the best thing you're going to get is you're going to get one of the golds off to the side, which is kind of what Blackheart has. So I guess Fire's equivalent would be like a gold here or something. I'm guessing the majority of you haven't seen this, but there was a very old game. It was between Fire and Miguel. And I forget who was the winner, but it was from 2015, guys. It was a Regicide Fortress game. It was a Mayans War. And I just thought of it because we've got Fire here, right? What has that been? 8 years now? Anyways, so Fire was house walling from his stone wall to the edge of the map. And when he was doing that, Miguel got his king trapped in the back of Fire's base. But Fire didn't know that the king was there, so Miguel hid it. So the whole game's going on, and Miguel's king is like hidden in a wood line. And then at one point in the Imperial Age, Fire researched Town Watch, and he got a little bit more vision on his houses. And after that, he just signaled it, and Miguel just resigned. Like, Miguel didn't even let him kill it. Fire noticed it and just signaled it. It's kind of funny. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Fire, you got to be careful with your king here, dude. But Blackheart knows that the king is faster than a Dark Age scout, so he doesn't even try and chase it. But yeah, it's a very old video. I don't know. Maybe someone can link it. Maybe Hardy could find it and get it edited into this later. Neutral 3-tile gold is here, which is pretty close to Blackheart, and then neutral 3-tile gold is here, which is pretty close to Fire. Map design with castles always facing center or just lucky gen. The castles are always towards the front. As for what direction the castles are facing, that is not something we really pay attention to. But yeah, I found that it was the best way to balance this map because when I was looking at other versions of Regicide Fortress, I felt like it was always... It was 50-50 on what you get, right? And if you had a forward gold like this, but your castle was here, you have a worse generation, in my opinion. There's a lot more potential for pressure from the opponent, so... this is nice. Fire reaching the next stage faster. Whoa, dude, that was dangerous. Look at that scout. Look how many arrows this scout dodged. Someone can do the math for me. But he's dodging some arrows there, dodging some arrows there. Okay, and now suddenly he's going to see a whole bunch of them. Whoosh! What, he got hit once, maybe? Oh, yeah, fire right up to Castle Age. So say what you want about the Khmer. If you don't like it, you at least should respect the fact that Fire's build is pretty good here. Now, something Regicide Fortress has that Arena won't have or other maps don't have is since you start with Regicide Resources, for whatever reason, gives you 150 stone. So if you wish to go for 2 immediate TCs, you need to send villagers out here and collect some stone. Will Blackheart be aggressive? It would make sense to be aggressive, but how aggressive can you be when the opponent has towers, and the opponent has walls, and the opponent has a forward castle? The neutral gold shouldn't be called neutral on this map. You clearly have one for each player. Well, I mean... Okay, Ozone. All right. So what am I supposed to call it? How about you give me an alternative word? Also, for what it's worth, Mr. Ozone, okay? Most maps, like good map scripts, the neutral gold should also be balanced. I'm not dissing any map scripts in particular, but it normally is something that should be looked at. No hate, though. I'm not giving you hate. I want a suggestion. It's all good. All right, so I think Fire forgot about the stone thing because he's now sending 5 villagers to stone, and this lady's not having it. But I think that's fine, right? Because he can still get this town center up. He does go for the monastery, which is something I wasn't expecting, because that does delay the boom. Acquaintance gold outside their base golds? Yeah, neutral gold is much easier. I'm wondering if we're going to see gunpowder here from Blackheart. I think he's just going to boom. I think he might make 1 or 2, but I think it's just going to be boom. I think early Imperial Age is when he really is going to start ramping up production. Yeah, and this is his home map. If he loses this game, it's going to be really tough for him to beat Fire today. And TC outside of his walls. I did that once while training with Ozone, and he killed one of my villagers. And now here he is telling me I need to reword the neutral goals. Such a bully, dude. Such a bully, this guy. Really impressed with Fire's build. This is sick. His economy is going to be rolling. Light Cav upgrade does come in for free, as the Turks. But Light Cav is also 0.05 slower than the starting scout, so Fire can still move around pretty confidently. Relics seem to favor Blackheart, don't they? Are the relics neutral? No, I'm kidding. It's not a big deal. We're just out of things to talk about here. Janissary is getting attacked by the wolf, but this is great for us because now the center hill looks a lot better for our thumbnail or whatever. And Blackheart just has 1, but that unit and the Light Cav could easily kill 2 monks, so Fire's got to be careful. 3rd TC is just now completed here for Blackheart. He's fallen behind in villagers, which is to be expected. We'll see if he can maintain the farms and whatever else. It is also expected that Fire is going to have more food income because the farms are more efficient with the Khmer. I like this. I like having 2 monks together. I think that's a good strategy here. Right now, We've got the Janissary staring down another wolf, and we have the Light Cav still looking here. I think at this point, Blackheart realizes, okay, he's not going to the right. He must be headed to the left. And Fire sees... He saw the Light Cav for a second. Okay, now he knows this unit's here. Hey, you think you could convert that? Or start the conversion on that, and then switch it to the Light Cav when the Light Cav swoops in? Oh my god, that conversion was so fast. But I've been learning a lot about monks, guys. Not that I just learned this yesterday, but it was 2 monks. They wasted both of their conversions. So now the Light Cav could kill both the monks, depending on how accurate the Janissary is. I would not have had the patience there. I would have gone in with the Light Cav to try and kill both monks, and then probably not killed them. Fire got some good shots, and then Fire also had the scout. I think the Light Cav would have maybe killed one. So, overall, I mean, Fire's strat's pretty good here. What's interesting to me is he is now going to stone, which could indicate another castle, which could indicate a 4 TC at some point. There's the 4 TC for Blackheart. Guys, what is the best counter to elephants? Help. Okay, monks. Okay, monks, yes. Okay, but... assuming that, you know, monks are really costly and you can't make a lot of monks, right? You got to make other units. Halbs. Turks do not get halb. I'm remembering Bengalis versus Turks a lot in gold and platinum. And I think it was like Draken and Dark. And then there were a couple other examples that come to mind, but I forget the player names. But I remember straight battle elephant. Turks just don't have an answer to. Flaming camels. It depends. Yes. I think you could go Trebs, Elite Battle Elephant, and actually get away with it. But you'd have to go for a 4 TC boom. And if you go for a 4 TC boom, there's a risk that you get pushed heavily. Oh, Monk goes down there for Fire. Fire has another Monk here, though. Light Cav looking to get away here for Blackheart. And... Fire really wants to kill that Light Cav. He won't get the kill, but he is going to snag the relic and run home for now. Yeah, I don't think Fire's going for the 4th TC, because if he was, he would have added it already. But eco balance seems to be a little awkward. That should be a conversion. Oh, man, he deleted it. Or the guy had a heart attack, one or the other. But okay, I mean, it's worth it for Blackheart. It actually was smart for him to delete there and not be too stubborn with it. He doesn't want to give Fire another unit that he can't make. And yeah, that monk goes down in the end. This scout, gonna chase this down. Lots of aggression over the relics right now. And well played from Blackheart. He should be able to get this relic now, which will actually be the first relic he gets. He has more on food than Fire, which is impressive. Fire's making 1 ballista elephant. Oh, baby, please. But no, okay, he's going to make stables. Which I think might just be for Light Cav. I don't think we're going to see battle elephants from Fire. This guy's like, I swear I'm on your team. Just bring me one of those old men. I'll come back. I'll come back, I swear. Stop it. We trained together in the academy, bro. Anyways, I mean, he's going to die, right? He's surely going to die. Whoa, what's happening with that gunman? Okay, he's dead. All right. Fire hoping to get this relic. Fire's ballista elephant. Doing some work here. Good luck countering that thing. Fire just wants to expand for map control. I think he sees this right-hand side as an opening for a castle. And so he's just going to spam in Castle Age here with some Knights and Light Cav, which is very rare for this map. Fire's got excellent value from his monks. He's either forced units to be deleted, as Fire now deletes his own and will probably lose his monk, or he's converted a few units. And this is the important hill we talked about earlier. 1 relic for each. Fire going to have Bloodlines. Fire's going to have +2 armor. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this on Regicide Fortress. If you see this, if you're Blackheart, and he does see it because of the outpost, you know you have to brace yourself for all of this, and he's going to kill this monk. That's a lot more commitment to Light Cav, though, than he was expecting, I'm sure. And Janissary should be able to do the job. Fire will lose a knight to a conversion here if he isn't careful, so he deletes there. We'll kill the monk now. And Fire is all in Castle Age, but he's dropping a castle here, which is what? How? How does he calculate that? Anyways, that castle is actually going to change this game a bit more than we would have initially thought. That's going to range a lot of the farming eco and make life so difficult for Blackheart, who wants to castle the middle right now. If I place that castle, it gets spotted and it gets denied, and then I feel like an idiot. I don't think it's a bad idea to try it, but you didn't have his army there, so it's incredibly risky. There are so many moments in a game where I'm just like, why? Why does that not work for me, you know? Anyways, he's still sticking to his task here, Blackheart, and that task is to take this hill. He's not letting that distract him. It certainly is distracting, though, I'm sure. He's getting fletching, he's getting bodkin, but he will complete the castle. Fire doesn't have an answer to mass Janissary right now. And Fire is going to start to lose his base to trebuchets and whatnot in the next age. What Fire is going to try and do, though, is he's going to try and turn this into Arabia. He's going to raid the sides. And if Blackheart isn't used to this, which I'm sure he's not, it could be a real problem. He reacts here. He had to react here. He's lost 6 villagers, though. Fire's still not up to imp, but he just uses the market a bunch, and now he's on his way. 10 villagers killed from Fire. He's still not really that far ahead in villagers, and he's still losing significant army mass to this. It's very likely that he will lose this castle or lose this castle. It's just what direction does Blackheart wish to go? All right, 13, 14 villagers now killed in total. Keep in mind, there are kings here. And Fire's Ballista Elephant probably wants that king. So Fire, he's killed 18 units. He's lost 19. That's not too bad. 15 of his kills were against Vils. He's got 50 on food. He's obviously just going to go straight Hussar here. Now, Turks can't go Halb, but Turks can go Camels. That's something that Blackheart hasn't done here. But it should be his next move, in my opinion. Right now, he's just sticking with the Janissaries, and can't really blame the guy for doing so. It is a really strong unit. Seems like he's bringing his castle, his castles and his trebs over to take this out. So I think the distraction was maybe worth it for Fire. Fire's just going to need more raids on the sides, I think. That's his game plan. Loses this side, but then he pushes the other side. And as that side's being reacted to, he's going to push the middle. He's just going to swing back and forth. But how effective can that realistically be in the long run? Look at Blackheart. He's getting Bracer. That's essentially just for his TC fire and his castle fire right now. It does not affect his unit that he's making. I'm surprised we're not seeing stables and we're not seeing camels yet. I think a couple stables going up soon would make a lot of sense. Fire will lose this castle. But Fire now will be very happy that this area is extremely exposed for Blackheart. Look at the annoying stuff Fire's doing. A couple stables here on the right. Oh, he also made it in here. What? He somehow made it in. I don't know how. The gate must have opened or something. Blackheart got 3 relics. Props to him, by the way. There's the stables for Blackheart. And there goes the castle down for Fire. Ram for Fire. Hoping to take out the TC. Hussar upgrade. Armor upgrade. Tons more light cav. About to be Hussar on the left side. Fire's going to castle here to take the extra gold. Fire's got vision on this gold. Fire's really doing a good job to delay that Turk death ball from pushing towards his base. This is awesome. This is so good. And I think you understand why he made the stables here, because this is where he's vulnerable, but now the stables are kind of being denied. This TC might actually go down to this push, too. The Janissaries are known at chewing up units, but not necessarily siege. Oh, God, Blackheart must be so frustrated. You're just going to see waves of Hussars from Fire just streaming in on all the sides. It's going to be constant. But Fire hasn't taken a good trade against the gunpowder yet. Meaning that there's 40 units that are now being upgraded. It gets to a high enough number. 40 is already pretty damn high. It could be problematic. But, oh, man, this is tough to keep up with if you're Blackheart. I love this. This here, this, the buildings and the map presence and the vision is so nice. And the thing about Hussar, guys, is it's just a food unit. You don't need to worry about losing them. It's fine. They're throwaways. Eventually here, Blackheart's going to look for a push, and I think he's saving for it. Now, normally you want more than just 2 trebs. And if you're showing the 2 trebs, you absolutely need to make sure that you have army next to it. You have to have the majority of your army next to it. Otherwise, the Hussars are just going to go get it. Now, Blackheart's trying to stabilize a lot, right? He's got idols he's got to fix. He's got farms he's got to go to. And then he's got Hussars that are coming in on this right side. And again, he pulls back. The king is here, guys, in that tower. Just saying. Something to think about. And there are the trebs, and he went in too early. Fire's got rams coming with Hussars. Fire's going to be able to kill the trebs. He could ram down the castle. The population for Blackheart is falling. Despite all the kills he's getting, he has to drop a castle here to hold and to stabilize. But the idle time for Blackheart's been ridiculous. He's got great army numbers. But Fire is peeling him apart right now. Beautiful play from Fire here with an awkward choice in the Khmer, but he's used the Khmer bonuses quite well. Good boom. Nice little extended castle age attack. I don't think the castle will stay up. No, the castle will end up going down. Okay. But the number of Janissaries is now 50. So we haven't even seen camels yet, right? I think it's very likely that Blackheart will never remember his castle as king is in this tower, and I think Fire will also not think about it either. It makes sense to always keep your king in the tower. All right, so Fire's been able to take out the castle in the middle. I would like to see him maybe think about taking out the castle on the right-hand side. But hey, castle's got ballistics. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Lots of military from Blackheart. Blackheart has the score lead. Fire's going to castle the left now. Fire is starting to mass ballista elephants, which has me excited. I wonder how much he's going to commit to them, though. Is he going to get double crossbow? Is he going to get siege engineers? Is he going to get elite ballista elephant? Blackheart with 2 on gold at the moment. Now, he's got more access to gold. He's just got idols constantly because of the raids. So, I actually, if anyone wondering why he hasn't made camels at this point, I honestly think his population's good enough where, well, he's going to do it now. I was going to say you just give up on it entirely because you're going to run out of gold soon. And if you try and mix in camels with the Janissaries, I'm not exactly sure. And this is just an amazing game. I'm loving this. I'm not exactly sure if you're going to have the gold for siege too. But then again, you could deny this gold from Fire, which is kind of nice. Fire's still waiting with those ballista elephants, and Treb just so easily gets sniped here. So hard to keep up with the randomness of Fire's army movements. Hey, we haven't seen a bot around in a long time. Welcome, bot. Mods, if you're around. Thank you, thank you. Not a single upgrade on these camels, besides the fact that they're heavy, and that's not a fat joke. I feel like I was expecting more raids from Fire to be coming in here. It feels like that's slowed down. I'm not sure I'm biggest fan of that. Blackheart still with crazy KD despite losing 60-some vills. Fire does not have elite ballista. I don't think he has double crossbow. I don't think he has siege engineers. All things that you would want. And castle's going up there in the middle. Okay, Fire is going to try and raid this left-hand side. What a great game, guys. This is an awesome one. There's double crossbow on the ballistas. I love how this has played out. I think we've seen the strengths of both civilizations. I think we've seen the strengths of both players. Fire trying to use the fact that he's a more open map player to his advantage in this game and punish those sides. Blackheart prefers the closed maps, prefers the more defensive play. And as he's still continually losing villagers here, I'd like to suggest to him maybe farm within your walls instead of around your castle. Okay, 1 Treb from him. Now, Fire has ballistas here. Did he get elite or it was double crossbow? Okay, he's got double crossbow. Now he's getting elite ballista. But he too could have castle problems soon. And he's chosen to castle here. Something that Red will find out in a moment. And this castle allows him to treb this castle down. That's the idea. But guys, Fire can't... I think Fire might go for the king right now. Because he cannot engage against this death ball. I honestly think he's going to go for the king. He might get the king. One of the rare times we see someone kill a king in a game. Let's go, baby. Chop the tree. Fire, come on, dude. Kill that king. He's chopping the tree. He's going in. Oh my god, this never happens, guys. But Fire did it 8 years ago. I talked about it at the start. He knows it's possible. Fire. Kill the king. What are you doing? Kill it. It's a flag. Kill it. Ah, I hate it when pros don't go for kings. Okay, anyways, it's fine. It does not bother me in the slightest. We have Hussars and we have Janissaries engaging against Ballistas and the Hussars from Fire. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all. We've got a Treb from Fire on the right to take out this castle. I'm not sure the Ballistas are enough right now. Red has brought most of his army over to engage against Fire in defense, but he's now able to protect his Trebs with the Campbells. That's a very nice play. It's very easy to forget about that. Food count for Fire is insane. He's got 75 on food. He's also got a lot on gold. But those elephants were pricey. And those elephants, they have gone down. Now, Fire's food eco is expanded all across the back of his base. He's got more elephants on the way. He's got a lot going for him. And he's controlled a lot of the gold. He's controlled all the neutral golds, right? The one on the left is gone. This one he's still taking. And Blackheart is now out of gold. So, yeah, I mean, like, if you run out of gold, you cannot replenish the Janissary numbers and the camel numbers, then you're just stuck on Hussar. And there's no real exciting bonuses for Turk Hussar beyond the fact they're a little bit better against arrows. But we'll see. Because Red can just raid himself, right? If he can take this castle out after taking out this castle, if he could run in here and run in here, these are all very exposed areas. We could have ourselves a crazy game. Now, this looked desperate for me. I think Blackheart did this, knew it was risky in the moment, but just figured it was maybe worth it when it was crazy. He does not take out that castle, as there's ballista elephants here. It's kind of funny, guys. We see 2 towers within Blackheart's base that have flags, which is something you normally see in community games. This Ville's been here a long time. It's just so funny to me how it looks like maybe he's faking Fire out on which tower the king is in. I think Blackheart's toast, though, guys. Wow, Fire actually using Janissaries. He must have converted to delay that castle. But Blackheart's at 90 Vills. He doesn't have the right corner. The left side is always possible for him to be raided. And maybe he needs a king snipe. I don't know. If Fire's just picked this guy apart. He's killed 129 Vills and he's lost 6. And he's got, with the exception of the middle of his own base, which he's now kind of added one, he's got excellent castle positions. Oh, here we go, baby. Go, 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 go. Fire, get it. Get it. Get it. King. King tower. King tower. Kill. Woo! Okay, well, Fire redeems himself for not getting it earlier. You could make stronger arguments that the game is closer to over now than you could at the time. That Fire could have gone for the king. But it doesn't matter to me, man. Red still got 70 army. He's still got 50 Janissaries on the map, a really hard unit to kill. And, you know, anytime he took an engagement with those units, he was winning that. Fire in a regicide game, in a pro tournament, killing the king. We got a king snipe, baby. And, you know, just excellent creative play from Fire to pressure the areas outside of those starting walls. I don't think Blackheart's going to regret, you know, TCing on the outside. I think what he might regret is not switching into Camel when he saw the amount of units his opponent was going for in Castle Age. Because normally you see exactly what he did. You see multiple castles and you see a lot of gunpowder. I wonder if at this stage, instead of trying to just play into Janissary, you just go Camel. Like, hindsight's 2020, of course. I still felt like because this unit was good enough that you could just continue to make them and continue to push. But the main issue was that he didn't have mobility, and camels would have maybe solved that problem. If camels weren't an afterthought, maybe he's okay. But yeah, that was a great game. Not every day you get to see a king snipe. Let's go. Well played to Fire. And for those of you that eventually see this on the main channel of YouTube, this was a best of 5 in Titans League Silver. Both players trying to move on. Fire the big favorite, and Fire showing how even on closed map against such a good player like Blackheart, who's good on these closed maps, why he is the favorite. Okay, resources collected. Just something we need to touch on here. Fire with so much wood and so much food. And then Blackheart actually had a little bit more gold and stone collected, which is pretty nuts to me. I'm not sure how. I guess maybe Fire didn't take a lot of his forward golds yet. I guess he still had both of those, which might explain it, but yes, still. I doubt that there was any conversation from the players, right? It's not like Blackheart would have responded much. He probably would be a little frustrated, probably just drops the GG. Yeah, Blackheart defeated, GG, GG, that's all that happened there. Ladies and gents, welcome to game number 3. Should be an interesting one here because I am unsure on how Fire is going to do with the Gurjaras here. Being up against the Portuguese. Portuguese, very solid civilization overall, but also very good on closed maps. Blackheart, a very good closed map player. However, we had a closed map in the previous game, and Fire ended up sniping Blackheart's king and playing like an absolute god with the Khmer. So, Fire feeling pretty good right now, being up 2-0. And I'm sure that Blackheart feels a little defeated at the moment, which could affect performance. It's a best of 5. So, you know, you have to win 3 straight now. So even if you win this, you've got to win on the open maps that Fire has prepared. We'll see how it goes. So we've got stone walls on the front on this map. And then on the backside, you have no walls. So some players will choose to add walls there over time with palisades and houses. Other players just leave it open. There's 5 relics towards the middle. There's 4 relics on the outside. And it looks like there's 3 on the right side. And then there is 1 on the left here. But the most notable thing is that you normally have 1 gold and 1 stone on the outside per player that's in the game. So I guess it's 2 additional golds outside and 2 additional stones. Look, the 2 golds and the stone on the left side. And then just 1 stone here. So this is going to happen. It's something that is consistently inconsistent. I'd say 60% of the time, there's 2 relics on each side. And the gold and the stone is 1-on-1, but we'll see if the players even scout that and if that becomes important. But obviously, the left side probably more important than the right if we're at least talking about the gold and stone control there. Where's the version where you cannot build to the edge? Do you mean the one with walls or without walls? I don't know. There's a bunch of different versions. But yeah, there is a version where you cannot build to the edge, which makes it a little bit more likely to attack. I could see Fire going for scouts, honestly, but he's not going to do so. He's going to wall up. See, I prefer to do this when I play, just make small walls. So you're not leaving your villagers in harm's way. Bit of a just passing moment there for Fire as he hits the scout from Blackheart. How do the Gurjaras stop organ guns? What weapons do they have? I don't know if they get Redemption Monks. They might get Redemption Monks. If this was the old patch, old organ guns, which were much better in low numbers, I think organ guns would completely destroy here. What about Shravamshas? Do Shravamshas do good against organs? I guess I didn't think about that because they quote-unquote dodge. Stupidest thing ever, but they dodge the shots. Maybe Shravamshas would actually be decent. And if that's the case, I feel like it might be decent enough where Fire just tries to go for a stable and place into scouts. Fire, are you kidding me, dude? This is what being up 2 games in a best of 5 does to you. He is on the right corner of the map, and he is going to try and push in a deer from the right corner of the map. Okay, he's given up on it now. Thank you. Went back on him once, so he gave up. You're behind. You feel like you'll probably lose the series even if you win this game. I don't know what time it is in Germany, but it's certainly later than it is in Brazil. You might just feel like YOLOing here if you're Blackheart. Just go all in, baby. And it could be monks. You could just play scouts as well with the Portuguese and take it late. Portuguese have lots of great bonuses. All their gold units are discounted. They've got great knights, great archers, solid enough infantry. Good gunpowder, too. Why are you upset with this Revamsha? Because it doesn't dodge. Like, I think if the... I like aspects of the Gurjaras. Like, I really like being able to make camels in feudal. And I really like being able to... The garrison, the sheep eco is really unique and adds a lot of flavor to the game. But I just don't like this Revamsha. If we could go back in time, this Revamsha would never be introduced. Granted, maybe the Gurjaras need something else. But let's just say this Revamsha rider never entered the game. Is the game worse for it? Opinionated 90 thinks the game would be just fine. I hate talking about the unit. It bothers me. It's not a dodge. Anyways, love the eco from Fire here. This is really clean. And he's will likely go for stable. Some players will go stable market. Stable market? Oh, yes. Oh, this brings me such happiness. Because 9 times out of 10, and I think those numbers are accurate. I'm not just using the saying. 9 times out of 10, players aren't getting blacksmith upgrades on their scouts or on their Shravamshas or whatever they're making out of the stable. They won't do it when the stable units are relevant. What can be helpful is using the market to buy and sell resources. So what would you give the Gurjaras instead of the Shravamsha? That's not my job. My job is to give feedback on things after they've been introduced. Okay, we've got the market. And then we've got the blacksmith now. And Blackheart showing me that this is just going to be a boom game. But as I say that he's bringing these vills to gold. If he keeps these vills on gold, it's going to be monks. But right now, it honestly looks like it's just going to be one monastery and then a bunch of town centers from him. You think with so many civs, the fact that they make Poles and Bohemians so interesting is really well done, though? Oh, yeah. I love Poles Bohemian design. I think that they were a little late in maybe nerfing Poles. I think a lot of people get really frustrated with the existence of Poles, myself included. It's now one of my favorite civs. I love the uniqueness on it. Absolutely. Why did he eat the sheep? Yeah, so a lot of players... So initially, everyone would garrison everything. And then they nerfed the gather rate for the sheep inside the mill. And the last 6 or so months, pro players will put the sheep in there. But then when they're finished with their berries and they're finished with boars, deer underneath the TC, they then eat the sheep. I've been doing the same. I normally don't eat all of them. Normally, I leave like 2 or 3 in there, but I'm not sure if the 2 or 3 in there is really that helpful. So I feel like what Fire has done here is actually close to optimal these days. And I really like how he's played the game thus far. Fire keeping a scout and the camel in the middle. And also now looking to scout the left side. Notice he's seen 2 relics on the right side. He's going to see this relic here. It might not end up finding this one, because he's going to be assuming 2 and 2. But Blackheart is just adding economy, which is the last thing I expected here. I truthfully expected him to go for lots of monks, or for him to go for organ guns. So he'll probably have more vills, but he will lose out in the relics. And I think not going for relics is just... When there's 9 relics on the map, not even contesting the relics... I've got to question that. Because if you don't contest for the relics, if you don't have a threat, then the opponent doesn't even need to make that many monks. Fire could make 3... he could make 3 monks, and he could have 9 relics bringing him gold soon after those 3 monks are created. Whereas if you're contesting it, which basically means you make army, and you kill a couple monks, you force your opponent, who might get the relics anyways, to end up having a few more units. And wow, I mean, even this that scout going down, I think Blackheart is really... Things have just not gone his way here today. Yeah, Fire did see this TC. Obviously, no easy way of seeing these TCs or knowing what's behind here. And Fire's just going to boom up as well. So I think it's probably just, catch up in eco a little bit if you're Fire. And then you may consider a siege push in the middle. A siege push in the middle would make sense, but a lot of players don't like to do it until they have their eco first. Yeah. Not contesting relics when the relics are so plentiful is pretty wild to me. Do you think that maybe he wanted to go organ guns, but then thought about the Shravamshas and was scared of them? Because I was initially thinking you're down 2-0, just go organs. He's going to add a monastery now. Fire doesn't see any of that. He sees the mining camp. That doesn't tell him if it's gold or stone, but if it was stone, he would have seen a castle already, so that's probably gold. And that's as good as invitation as any to just send a villager forward soon. Siege push the left TC? No, I don't think so. Middle is so much more important. It also is, it doesn't take as long to be able to push the middle. I think if you're focusing on the left and then you're distracted, your opponent could come to the middle and then castle drop you, and then you're really far behind. So we'll see. Also, mods, keep an eye on my boy Terry. Terry, I see you, bro. Chill. So how many monks did Fire make? So he's gonna go for more than 3. He's gonna go for 4. But he's gonna end up getting quite a few relics here. And now we have Blackheart going for monks. This feels like the order's wrong, but great job from Fire. Like, Fire's paid really close attention. And Fire noticed the monk was there. It's not like he's stopped looking at these things. I think we might just see a slow house wall creep from Fire just to block off this area. Thanks, guys. Girlfriend broke up with me yesterday. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But don't be self-defeating about things and go get banned in my chat just because you're feeling rough. It might make you feel worse, all right? Sorry to hear it. Been there. You'll get through it. Life will go on. But, just chill a little bit. 57 vills for Fire, but he's got 4 relics, bringing in gold. About to be 5 relics. About to be 6 relics. Could be 7 relics. Fire wanted to go for siege, and you need a blacksmith for a siege workshop, which is funny. They definitely just forgot, oh, I don't have a blacksmith. And guys, Fire's even going for atonement. This is so good. This is a good decision, because you can convert the enemy monks. Oh, God. Okay, so Fire maybe built these houses a little too close to Blackheart here. And so this was spotted. But there could be army headed over there soon. Okay, Monk's going to show up from Blackheart to try and convert the scouts, but Fire has atonement, so Fire could run away with the scouts and convert the monk. Surprise, buddy! Fire knows what he's talking about, and the monk gets deleted. Fire also, I think, noticed these monks. Fire's playing amazing. Fire is just make every decision look so easy. How did he notice that? It was there for half a second. All right, so kills more monks. Ends up killing the scout that has switched sides. Now has a Shravamsha rider over here. And Shravamsha is going to be attacking these vills, which is going to be annoying for Blackheart. Blackheart's now going to go for atonement. So he can convert Fire's monks. And Fire is going for an armored elephant to push. All the while, Fire is adding a 4th TC to have even more eco. He's got 5 relics. It should be more. And it can be more for him if he just scouts this one. But he's going to get this one. And then there will just be the one on the very right and the one in the middle that he just didn't scout available. And I don't think Fire's going all in here. I think Fire... I think he settles down immediately after this and just goes up towards him. Atonement War, though, is important as both players are switching sides with monks. And it's a little awkward. Fire might want to delete his monks here in a second, just so these don't switch sides again. Fire has Shravamshas out, and oh god, I didn't realize he's actually okay. Fire, chill, dude. Delete those monks. Don't give those monks to Blackheart. What's happening? Fire? Are you sure about this? This is a very awkward situation to cast. The one blue monk starts to get a conversion. Oh, and Fire gets a conversion with it. The Shravamshas kill a monk. I guess there's no way to stop the castle right now if you're Blackheart. So the castle will eventually go up. I don't know. This is weird. Imp's going to come in for Blackheart eventually. He's dropping a very defensive castle. He does have really good economy, but again, he just doesn't have the relics. And that castle, dude, that was so unnecessary. Why are we placing a castle within monk range from the guy who's got more monks than you? And that's a lot of stone. That was costly. He's also getting armor. I'm sorry, but that armor will not armor you from the Lord, okay? You cannot prevent yourself. Look at this elephant. He's stuck. You cannot prevent yourself. Bro, you can't armor yourself and harden yourself from God, okay? Okay, well, this got really awkward. Blackheart is escaping here. I think what would have been smarter for Fire is to never show Blackheart that he was here and just stonewall it. But he seems to be in the habit of wasting stone as he's just going to force this castle down. The elephants have made it in, though. And they're now going to go for the market. And now there's scouts and there's Shravamshas. And this is so terribly awkward. Fire's castle completes. And that is the Imp TC for Blackheart. There should be no way he loses his Imp TC to this, so right? He should be okay. Fire's dropping another castle. Fire's got the Light Cav upgrade now, so he's got Shravamshas. He's got Light Cav. He's got 6 relics at home. Could eventually be 7 if he spots the other one. And he's just going all out attack here. Now, I did say that I thought it would be awkward to figure out how to play the Gurjaras. On an arena-style map, I'm not sure if they're the best matchup against Portuguese or not, but Fire in the previous game just raided like a nut, and he is going to raid like a nut here, too. Finds a wood line. Like, Blackheart's building up towards pikemen, but he doesn't have them all yet, and the Shravamshas are really freaking fast. Well, look at all the idle time from Blackheart. The Fire happy to trade all this time, not going to the Imperial Age if he can get this amount of raids in. I think Fire misclicked there. I think he meant to send in his Light Cav, not the Shravamshas after the monk, so he loses some units. And Fire now, you're not up yet. Oh god, but, he's dropping a castle here. Blackheart just realizes he's been spotted. And now Blackheart's going to get pushed off this area. Dang, this just got really messy. Okay, but Fire needs to somehow stop Trebs. The Trebs should slowly take down all of his castles here. So Fire's going to have the relics. Fire's going to have the outside. But Fire is still in Castle Age. And he's only ahead by 15 or so vills. But the relics too, right? But in order to keep these castles up, you kind of have to make army and stay in Castle Age to take out the Trebs. And it's a never-ending cycle then. I think Blackheart realizes I just need to maybe leave this area. Honestly, leave this area and wall it up right now. Also, Blackheart doesn't have any gold income. He's got pikes, he's got monks, he's got Trebs, but he will take out Fire's castles. But Fire will build more castles. He's so heavy on stone. I really like it, though. Fire has essentially said, I know you're good on closed maps. I'm good enough to get a solid economy, and then I'm just going to make it really tough for you to make informed decisions. Because I'm going to raid, and I'm going to make it messy. And he's utilized all the sides of this map. He's utilized the right side, he's utilized the middle, he's utilized the left. Similar to what he did in the previous game. I still don't like that he is, still not imp. But, this is pretty nice because Blackheart's got to push middle right now. What a weird game. I don't think you want to go for a Feitoria here if you're Blackheart. I know that you're Portuguese, but you've got 113 bills. You can't Feitoria this. It takes away too much population space. But you really need gold access. Gold is a growing concern. He's back on this gold now. And he's on this gold too. I would like to see Fire outpost the right side. And maybe, build some stables over there. Fire's unable to deny the castle on the left side here from Blackheart. Now, against Pikemen, you have the Chakrams. And Elite Chakram especially just shred Pikemen so fast it's not even funny. But in order to make Chakrams, you need castles. And Fire has lost 2 out of the 4 castles he's placed in this game. He's about to lose the 3rd. Now, Fire's raiding with random cav units, which is especially annoying to deal with his Portuguese because you don't get squires. So you have very slow infantry, and Fire's done a good job of abusing that. But I still don't see you being able to take the traps. Blackheart trying to convert some of the Chakrams. Fire backing up with another castle now. Because he knows he's going to lose this one. And he does lose all of his units here. Alright. Also, Fire's going to lose his unit here. He could then lose his castle here on the left side if Blackheart shifts his traps over. But I think you go middle. You're protected on the left for now. I think you do not want to go to the left corner and give Fire time in the middle. You just have to move forward here. And would really love to see some blacksmith upgrades flying in. You really have no excuse to not at least be getting the blacksmith upgrades that don't cost gold. So forging would be nice. Archer armor obviously not very helpful right now. What's your comp going to be? Your comp's going to be Cav and Chakrams. But I don't know if he's going to have the resources for Chakrams. Like this from Blackheart, stonewalling the side. That's huge. Also, rewalling this is really important. You have to rewall this so Fire can't run in again. Fire getting Shatras now. Very important, unique tech. And that will make all the food units he's making cost less food. And that applies to pretty much everything you make with the Grajaras in most games. A decent fight there for Fire. And he's happy to throw away Light Cav to get crucial kills. Chakram number's still really low, but he still has 2 castles in this game. They're just separated. And this one on the left might go down. He's going to try and send in these Siege Elephants and Light Cav after it, I bet. Another castle for Fire. Okay, I'm beginning to believe in his dream composition a little bit more now. And we have Archer ranges going up for Blackheart, who's now flowing with gold, and he's probably thinking hand cannons. And chemistry's on the way too, so that pretty much confirms that. And gunpowder with Portuguese is wild. He's actually going to go archers. I don't think I like that. I don't think archers make sense when the opponent could go Shrivamshas. But I suppose the combination with pikes or halbs is still really good. Disc v disc over here. Kind of funny looking. Those guys are just tossing frisbee back and forth. Here comes Fire. Finally thought, oh crap, right side, and he's going to get vision on that side, but there's not much he could do there. Still, Fire hasn't been able to take out that trap, but he's still not finished trying, I can guarantee you that. And that trap hasn't been repaired yet by Blackheart, but he's going to do so now. Grajaras do get Bombard Cannon. And there is now Elite Shrivamsha for Fire, not Elite Chakram. So he's thinking he needs something to counter the archers. Fire doesn't see the walls yet, but he'll see the walls in a second. Things will get interesting on that side. This is why this map is so freaking good, man. This map is so amazing. I am a little sad we're not going to see it in this season, but the whole point of Titans League is to switch up the maps every season, so... This is cool. Oh god, Hussars are through, but they can't leave. It was all part of my plan, but I'm going to leave a hole in my houses so you can run through anyways, and I'm going to be annoyed with myself later. Oh, that's annoying. At least make a house here. Don't let him get to your gold. Oh, that's so frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, though, Fire could lose his castle. Halberdier is in. Some halves were left over from before. I think red will be fine. Fire is going to go for an armored elephant on the right. He's dropping a castle here. He's dropped a stable here too. Did lose that, but he's going to be back for more. And now Blackheart, who takes the score lead, is getting a lot of crucial techs. Also is currently attacking a piece of stonewall with a disc. I'll keep you updated. That will take all day. But Fire, you know, he's going to potentially lose the left-hand side, and Blackheart can take both of those gold piles we talked about earlier. I think Blackheart might need a castle here in this area. But he's also pushing the middle. Fire's got some monks. Fire's got hussars. He's got chakrams. But where are the Shravamshas? He didn't add Shravamshas. I don't think Elite Shravamsha is even the play. I think Elite Chakram. There's... You know, the unit really needs to get the bonuses from Elite and the changes from Elite. Can Fire stall this out, though? He almost gets the final treb, but he doesn't. While over here, he might be able to get these trebs. Siege Engineers for Blackheart. As Fire has 6 relics, but the 6 relics are sitting right here at the front of his base. For Blackheart, he's been able to defend and defend some more. And he's done such a wonderful job. He's got really good upgrades now. I like how many production buildings he has. I like how he's not giving Fire time. He's pushing immediately. And even Siege Engineers, Masonry now, Conscription, all these upgrades are really helpful. That castle will go down for Fire. And I don't think you need to push much further than this area on the left. You just need to hold this, right? You don't want Fire to take that gold, but you don't need to commit everything to that. What you will need to commit towards is the middle. And I think that he's also just realized I have to defend myself here as he drops a castle. So, if you guys didn't see it, for a second, Blackheart had chosen to place this castle where his army is now. And then I think it dawned on him that Fire was about to be through. And this is just the safer play to keep yourself protected. Also, Fire will lose almost all of his control on this side to a couple halbs. And think Fire's going to struggle. How many castles has Fire lost this game? 5? It's either 4 or 5. It might even be 6. Oh, that hurts to see the blacksmith go down. At least he gets Bracer. But even then, he's just getting Bracer for his castles. He has no ranged units on the way. Just a little puzzling that he didn't go for Elite Chakram. But when you have to rely on your unique units, and you don't have a generic unit that's that exciting, which is the situation for the Gujaras, it can be really awkward for you. And I think we've seen a bit of that here. With that gold count, I could even see Blackheart justifying buying some stone right now to place a castle in this position. But, you know, he's got to be careful, right? Because he's kind of got units everywhere, right? He's got a treb here. That's going to go down. A couple random units in his base. That's going to be dealt with. A couple random units over here. He just doesn't have it all in one spot. So you're going to see it be messy and sloppy for both players due to that. I think what Fire really needed on this right side was he didn't need a raid. He needed a push, right? Like 5 elephants with 10 hussars, and you probably would have been able to take down this castle. But now it's too late, because now Blackheart knows you're there. So there's not going to be any surprises anymore. I think a lot of his own bombard cannons could be really good for Fire, and I actually don't mind skirms. You do lack the final armor, but still, I mean, elite skirms, good, a good addition against archers and halbs. There is a weird world here where we might actually see Cavalier for Blackheart, which you wouldn't never really think about when up against a civ with good camels. But everything that Fire is making right now is vulnerable against Cavalier. The other option could maybe be Champion, but that's infantry, right? And there's chakrams, and chakrams are great against infantry. Fire over booming, 155 vills, still producing. It's just because of the pressure of the moment. And Fire will be able to use his bombard cannon and his skirms to hold in the middle. Meanwhile, he might lose another castle on this side. He also might lose another castle here. He has lost so many castles. Oh. I really think we need to go back and count. I don't know if I've seen a player lose so many castles. The wild thing would be, what if he wins? If he wins while losing that many castles, that might be a new record. Okay, so there's the Sravamshas. Remember, guys, they dodge the shots. It's more like they somehow can not take damage from the first initial shots. They soak up the initial fire. Still take a ton of bonus damage from Halbs, though. Fire's still missing lots of armor on his Skirm, so even his Skirm's struggling. And Fire has not been able to save his castle. What? Oh, the Bomber Cannon killed 2 Trebs? What? Fire's castles are still standing. This one, dude, how much stone has he collected in this game? This one's maybe going to be saved by this Bomber Cannon? Yo, no way. No freaking way Fire held on to the sides. What's funny is he actually has 0 on gold right now. He's selling food to get some gold. He probably bought a lot of the stone. There is gold here, though. He should be able to mine that if he just realizes. And the Trebs. Oh, no. Oh, he shot the Arbalest. Okay, Blackheart noticed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. It's becoming difficult for Blackheart to keep up with all the different areas. And the Skirm edition is looking pretty tasty. University goes down for Fire. He doesn't care. He's got all the uni upgrades he needs. He might need a pushback on the left with some Skirms or something to take some of that gold. It's so tough because you can't really take this one or to take out 2 castles right now. But hey, if you push back the middle, then you can take this gold and deny that from Blackheart. This is a banger of a game. God, Fire's being the biggest pest over here, man. Can the Bomber Cannon do it? Okay, they trade a Bomber Cannon for a Treb. There's still, however, a Treb. But Blackheart, no way. He can't kill Skirms. He cannot kill Skirms, guys. Skirm is the unit that's made all the difference here. Bonus damage against archers, some bonus damage against Halbs, and doesn't cost gold, which is obviously become a bit of an issue for Fire. And the Sravamshas, too, of course. Better than a light cav, and then a terrifying to deal with if there's just simply Arbalest out. But more than anything, guys, Fire's annoying presence on the sides has changed the game. The fact that this castle's still standing is probably why the middle is, you know, going as well as it is. Fire's going to go Camel now. Remember, still a relic here. I'd like to see Fire get that personally, but he has 6, so it's still more than enough gold income. And I imagine, like, the weight of the entire series as another Treb gets sniped by Fire, who continues to camp so well with his cannons. The weight of the entire series is really coming down on you right now. The fact that you were ahead in this game, that you took out so many castles, the fact that even if you do come back and win this game from here, that you have to win 2 straight against Fire to have any chance. All those things come to your mind right now, and I imagine it's not a very fun feeling, your Blackheart. Yeah, we know exactly what Fire's going to do. He's going to wait with the cannons and go for that trip. The guy who somehow has lost like every castle he's placed has held this game alive on the flanks with 2 very important castles. God, I'm getting so annoyed for Blackheart, but Fire's playing incredible. And now you have camels, too. And camels do additional bonus damage with the Grijaros. So, you know, good luck stopping those things with just light cav. I think the play would have had to be Cavalier, truthfully, when he had the gold, right? You spend gold to keep the gold is kind of the outlook. But it feels really weird to spend gold on Cav against a Civ with good camels. Shout out to this Halb, by the way, who's killed 13 villagers, still going to town. Fire now going for elite chakrams, because there had been quite a few Halbs on the field. Fire's going to win this game. Relic gold's probably insane. I still am wondering if that Halb's ever going to go down. Chakrams being elite. They receive some HP. I'm not sure if they receive additional bonus damage, but I know that they receive +1 attack as well, which for a unit that only does 3 attack normally, goes up to 4 attack, is a big deal. Obviously, the benefit of the unit is that it does pass-through damage. So it doesn't sound like a lot of attack, but when you have a big group of them, it adds up. Hey, Halb goes down. Okay, Fire getting some text that he forgot. Blackheart going to try organ guns. It's just, I think the speed of Fire and the experience is caught up with Blackheart. 2 games in a row. On Blackheart's home maps, on his preferred closed maps. Make a lot of good decisions. You pick the civilization, you get the position, and then Fire just says, good luck dealing with me on every single side, bro. Fire banned Arena, which is the map that Blackheart would have probably preferred because you have just the battlefield in the middle. But the last 2 games, while they were closed, have had these side aspects to it. And that's been Fire's strategy. Blackheart maybe paying attention more on this side. Oh, he has Arquebus. I think that's the only thing that explains the trajectory on that shot. Okay. So he's got Arquebus and he's trying organ guns, but they're not elite organ guns. So his bomber cannons are affected and his organ guns are affected by ballistics now. Still has golden come here. Fire needs to be taking all the gold he can here just in case he ends up losing control of this because it's looking like he might. Don't tell me that as Fire kind of sort of tries to take the middle, that Blackheart's going to take the sides now. This game is so good. It's a shame we don't have elite organ guns. You really want to max out on your potential here. Looks like the organs were clicked after the bombard cannons. So that's a bit wasteful. But, you know, we see that as wasteful while he's also doing these other things at the same time. These other things being losing these bombard cannons, and Fire is tilting me. He is tilting me because it's so good. But he is now going to maybe still hold this side. Maybe still hold the middle? I don't even know. An arena player's nightmare, having to switch sides like this. And Fire's actually got a bit of a push. He's going to try and hit this castle. And he's back on this gold. Also a slight raid here. That's kind of awkward. No real way for Blackheart to push this castle. Look at the mix. He's had to mix it because he doesn't know what Fire's going to send it next. We've got Chakrams. We've got Shravamshas. We've got Skirms. Fire just backing away with the cannons for now. Understanding it's risky to stay in that fight. Takes a fight here, and the Shravamshas do a full clear up of the Arbs anyways. And then what about the right side? Well, Fire's still waiting for more. Oh my goodness. Like, my advice to... someone might ask, okay, T90, what do you suggest for Blackheart? You need one collected push with a snowball to start getting the ball rolling. But if you try and do that now, you are now... like, Fire has earned himself the right to kill you on a side if you're not respecting it, right? You can't just mass everything and push this middle now. Because if you do, Fire pushes you on either side and kills you. So the answer then is, well, you have to play the stabilization game. You have to. And the stabilization game's gonna be better for Fire because he has the cheaper cav and the better cav, and because Fire is that type of player. Fire just buying stone to repair this castle still as he kills another trap. Oh, poor Blackheart. He might need to take a couple-week break from the game after this one. Oh, man. Oh, but hold on. So Blackheart is getting elite organ gun with what little gold he is remaining, but he's actually going to kill a lot of Fire's villagers here. Fire's not realizing this, and Fire will lose a lot of pop there, guys. Now, I'm still not sure if elite organ gun is great. I feel like it will be if he has more than 10 of them. And I'm wondering if now maybe he saves gold for Fatoria, because this is bad. But both players are 130 pop. What? What in the world? I mean, get to making more vills, guys. Get to making a lot more vills here. But what I'm noticing is that Fire's still taking gold. And he also still has 7 relics now, so he did get that one. And he didn't get this one because he doesn't know about it. Their pops also have both gone up by 30 pop now, so they're both at 150 pop. This is crazy. I'll tell you what Red could have tried. Oh my god, why the Fatoria there? Okay, I don't mean this to be rude because I'm respectful of all competitors, but you deserve to lose this game now. Okay, the reason he built it there is because he needed space. But that is like... That is the most annoying corner in the history of mankind. So now Fire's gonna see the Fatoria, and those things aren't cheap anymore. It's 350 stone and 350 gold to bring you a trickle of those res. Oh, Fire, convert it. Get a monk and convert it. That's the ultimate flex. And Blackheart just says, I'm done. He says, I'm done. I can't deal with it. No, this is annoying. And truthfully, he is way behind. Truthfully, he will eventually lose this game. And he's been behind for a while. Finally just says, you know what? No, I'm done. And Fire wins 3-0. A very nice series from Fire. I'm not sure if Fire is going to be able to go into... Like, let's say that Fire wins the next series and goes into gold. If we were to have these maps, which we won't, I'm not sure some of the crazy side shenanigans would necessarily work against the really big players. But man, oh man, did Fire just go to these home maps and utilize all the different areas of the map that he could. In Fortified Clearing, which is this game, he used the left, right, and center all the time. Made it messy. And then in the previous game, the Regicide Fortress game, he did a similar thing. He just played good. And Fire is just... He's that big of a name where I now, wish him luck in his next series and see if he can qualify back for gold in TTL. But you got to favor him to do it, right? And that might even be a 3-0 as well. I don't know who he might go up against, actually. You might need to look at that. Relic Gold's going to be insane here, right? Relic Gold for Fire, 8,000 gold. And honestly, I think that was the biggest mistake from Blackheart, was just not contesting the relics. You can't allow Fire to get that many relics. The game's always going to go late on this map. I think he was trying to snowball a push through the middle, but Fire did an excellent job to always be on the left or the right, hitting him with different types of units. I did have a lot of confidence in Blackheart, honestly. I was thinking maybe this would be a 3-1 or 3-2 win for Fire, but Blackheart couldn't get it done. But yeah, Fire played incredibly well. Army high, 62 only for him, but he had a total of 528 army throughout the game. And he was active, man. He was active with lots of vision on the map. 94% of the map scouted. I think the only area of the map that Fire didn't really see was that right corner. Yeah. Like this section of wood, which is obviously unimportant, and this corner, which had even an additional relic for him. So Fire will play Cloud or Samaro next. Ooh. Well, Cloud and Samaro both will produce a good fight against each other. I think they're Seed 2 and Seed 3. Samaro qualified and made it to gold last time. So I think Samaro's my favorite there. And Samaro's similar to Blackheart, where he can play open maps, but he prefers more closed, more mixed maps. I think Samaro will put up more of a fight. I think his builds could get the best of Fire potentially, but we got to see if Samaro can get past Cloud first. A good series, though. I hope people are excited for Silver's conclusion. It'll be happening over the next week and a half. I won't be able to cast the first 2 weeks of gold because I will be on a vacay in Australia. But then when I return, we'll cast the last 3 to 4 weeks of gold and then move into the 5 to 6 weeks of platinum. So will be a lot of Titans League coming up.